ఓన్లీ క్లౌడ్ టీమ్.
ఓన్లీ
నేను ఓన్లీ అజూర్ క్లౌడ్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇవి నేనే మేనేజ్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఆన్ ప్రెమిసెస్ సపరేట్ మళ్ళీ ఇన్ఫ్రా టీమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అంటే లినక్స్ కి ఆన్ ప్రెమ్ లినక్స్ కి సపరేట్ టీమ్, మళ్ళీ ఆన్ ప్రెమ్ విండోస్ కి అన్ని డిఫరెంట్ టీమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. క్లౌడ్ లో ఉన్న ఇన్ఫ్రా అంటే మనకి సర్వర్స్, ఏమన్నా అప్లికేషన్ గేట్వేస్ అట్లాంటి ఇన్ఫ్రా రిలేటెడ్ నేను మేనేజ్ చేయాలి. కాకపోతే క్లౌడ్ లో ఇన్ఫ్రా చాలా తక్కువ ఉంది. ఓన్లీ 20 సర్వర్స్ ఏమో అందులో ఒక 10 విండోస్ 10 లినక్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఆ 10 మేనేజ్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం అట్లీస్ట్ బేసిక్స్ అన్న వస్తే అట్లీస్ట్ అది.
అవునవునవును. గుడ్ గుడ్ గుడ్. సో డెవాప్స్ కూడా కంటిన్యూ అయితే నీకు కొంచెం బాగుంటది.
అవునవును.
ఓకే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ టుడేస్ టాపిక్ గైస్?
యూజర్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్.
User administration. Yesterday we already discussed it, right? The user administration, how we can authenticate with users. So the users can authenticate with two types. So normal user and root user onto the server. Okay. So the system related softwares, system related system itself created some of the users. From those users are 0 to 99. So I will tell you in the writing, guys. You will understand. Okay. What is that? All user all users UID or GID starts. Guys are able to see my screen, right?
ఎస్ ఎస్ సార్.
Okay, very good. The all user UID GID starts from 1000 by default. I already told you, right, guys? So for example, I want to create a Hari user. So Hari user UID is starts from 1000. Normal users UID starts from by 1000. All user UID GID starts from 1000 by default. Okay. So UIDs, GIDs. So we have a 60,000. How many users we can create, guys? So we can create in Linux. How many users? 60,000 users will create it. So 0 to 999. Guys, what we discussed, system itself uses system itself uses the 0 to 999. So by 1000 to 60,000 all general users purpose. Okay, 1000 to 60,000 all general users uses. Guys understood? Hari user, Ajay user, Ashok user, these are. So for example, Hari, how much JD he will get? He will get the 1000. So then Ashok will get 1001. Okay. And Hari, Ashok, Ajay will get 1002. Siri will get 1003. So for example, Kirti wants a specific UID. Specific UID, something like a fancy. They can give fancy ID also. Okay. How we can give it? I will tell you. How we can give it? I will tell you. Okay. So now you understood. UIDs, GIDs. So for a user, what is that, guys? For a user account, primary group. So primary group is mandatory. What is that? So primary group is mandatory. Okay. If you are not assigned to any group, if you are not assigned to any group, user himself behaves as a group. User himself behaves as a groups. Guys understood? Say for a user account, primary group, secondary group. So one primary group and secondary group. What is a group? I will tell you. Okay. So what is a group? I will tell you. Okay. Yeah. So I will tell you a group. What is a group? Yeah. So for example, the group is Linux engineer group or cloud engineer group or DevOps engineer group. Okay. Okay. Understood. So what is that? So Linux engineer, cloud engineer, and DevOps engineer. Okay. So who are there in the Linux engineer group? Who are there in the Linux engineer group? So for example, Hari and Kirti. Kirti are there in the Linux engineer group. So cloud group. Who are there in the cloud group? Ajay and Ashok are there in the cloud group. So who are there in the developers group? DevOps engineers group. For example, Ramki, Shravan. So these all are in the DevOps. So these all are in the DevOps engineers group. This is a cloud engineer group, and this is a Linux engineer group. So if you want to give the permissions to the individual user, and as well as if you want to give the permissions to the group, if you give the permission to the group, whatever the users are related to that group, whatever the permissions we gave to that group, so those permissions will get to the users also. Users also. Guys, understood? So, for example, cloud engineer having some permissions. So, whatever there in this group, right? Those people also will get the same permissions. So, here also. Guys, understood? So, for example, Linux is the primary group. So, these are the secondary groups. Or, for example, Ramki is a primary group for this DevOps engineer, secondary group for cloud and Linux engineers. Okay, so a user having a primary group, mandatory primary group, and so we can give any number of secondary groups. If we are not giving to the any group, user himself behave as a group. If you are not adding it to that, so for example, you created a user called as a what is that? Meghna. What is that? So Meghna is the user. Meghna not belongs to any group, but Meghna herself behaves as a group. If you are not assigning to any group, so herself as assigning as a group. Guys, understood?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Very good. Okay, so group. So how you can create the group, guys? For example, Linux engineers group, cloud engineers, DevOps engineers. So how you can create the group? Group add command. What is the command? Group add is the command to create a system group. To create a system group for a user. It may be a primary or secondary. It may be a primary or a secondary group. Okay. And all groups, all groups information available in /etc group. All information will be available in /etc group. You guys understood? So what is the information? Group information will be available under the /etc group. Where is that? So guys, if you want to clear the screen, you guys can use the clear. CLER, clear is the command, or control L is the command. What is that, guys? Control L is the command to clear the screen. Okay. So the name, call it as a clear, or you can use the control L to clear the screen. Okay. Yeah. So what is that? So the group's information will be available under the /etc group. So this is the group file. The information root the UID is 0. User himself behaves as a group here. Okay. So for example, that crony post, these all are from 0 to 999 only. So there is no normal user created till now. There is no normal user created, normal group created. Okay. How you can create the group, guys? How you can create the group? Hash
గ్రూప్ అన్న యూజర్ అన్న ఒకటేనా?
group or ఇప్పుడు చెప్పింది ఏంటిది?
అంటే ఇప్పుడు యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ గ్రూప్ కూడా క్రియేట్ అయిద్దా?
మ్మ్. మ్మ్. విను, నీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, గ్రూప్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నావు. ఓకే, ఆ గ్రూప్ కి పీపుల్ ని యాడ్ చేస్తున్నావు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఓకే, సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద పర్మిషన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద గ్రూప్, రైట్, ద సేమ్ పర్మిషన్స్ విల్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్ ఆన్ ద యూజర్స్ ఆల్సో. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లైనక్స్ ఇంజనీర్స్ కి ఎవరెవరు ఉన్నారు, ఈ గ్రూప్ లో ఎవరెవరు ఉన్నారు? సో మీ టీంలో ఎవరెవరు ఉంటారు?
మా టీంలోనా? మా టీంలో
ఎంతమంది
నేను ఒక్కడిని.
ఒక్కడవేనా? సోలో?
అంటే ఇన్ఫ్రా తక్కువ ఉంది క్లౌడ్ లో, సో నేను ఒక్కడిని.
అవునా? సింగిలా?
సింగిల్.
సింగిల్. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు ఇన్ని నీకు అర్థం అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో గ్రూప్ యాడ్, group add, group name. Okay, this is the syntax. So what is the, so we have options also. Group add -g is nothing but if you want to set the GID for the group. So what is that? If you want to set the normal users and groups starts from 1000, right? I don't want 1000. I want a fancy number 2020 or 22222 or 11111. How we can set it? We can set the by using -g command. Group add -g 111 or 1111. So for example, Linux engineer. Okay, so I want to create a normal group, add group name. For example, DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer. Understood? So what is the example? These are the examples. So more /etc group or grep DevOps engineer /etc group. Okay, so fields in the /etc group. So what are the fields in the /etc group, guys? So these are the group add DevOps engineer, group add -g 10102 Linux engineer. Okay, cat /etc group. Okay, so DevOps engineer contains having 1000 group name, group ID. Linux engineer having the group ID 1001. What are the fields? These are the fields. Okay, what are the fields? These are the fields, right? So DevOps engineer, group name. What is the first one? First one is group name. Second one is GID. Okay, and X. Then secondary group members. Secondary group members. Guys, understood? So this is the information about how to add the group and group add. So next, user. What is that? User creation. How to create the user, guys? How to create creation, modification, and deletion. You can modification and deletion. Okay. So what is that? User add is the command. User add to create a new user account. To create a new user, normal user. Okay. So what is the syntax? Syntax is user add options. We have a options and user name. Okay. So what are the options? Hyphen u is nothing but a UID. If you want to specify a particular UID, you can use hyphen u, or else hyphen G is nothing but a primary group. Hyphen capital G is nothing but a secondary group. Hyphen D is nothing but a home directory. If you want to set the home directory, we can set the home directory by using this option. Hyphen D and hyphen C. If you want to give a comment, you can use the hyphen C is nothing but a comment. Okay. Hyphen S is nothing but a shell. So shell. Guys, understood? So this is nothing but the user creation. User create a user account. What is that, guys? Whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the slash etc passwd database file. Okay, and users passwords are going to store under the slash etc shadow shadow database file. Okay, guys, now you understood? Whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the slash etc password database file, and the user's passwords are going to store under the slash etc shadow database file. Okay, what is that? The user's information will be available under the slash etc passwd. You see, so root user, all the users information will be available under the slash etc passwd, and the password information will be available under the slash etc shadow. Okay, so this is the password information for the all the users. This is the password information for the all the users.
అరే ఐ హావ్ డౌట్. పాస్వర్డ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంటే ఏం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్? మనం ఏ పాస్వర్డ్ అయితే సెట్ చేసుకుంటాం అది ఉందా, లేకపోతే ఏంటి? అర్థం కాలేదు.
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏ పాస్వర్డ్ సెట్ చేసాము? ఏ
సో
పాస్వర్డ్ సెట్ చేసాము రూట్ కి?
ఓకే, అదే మీరు ప్రైవేట్ కి అది యూజ్ చేసి కనెక్ట్ అయ్యారు. సో
ఇది
నాకు తెలిసి
ప్రైవేట్ కి కాదు, ఇది రూట్ పాస్వర్డ్ రెడ్ హ్యాటే కదా. సో ఇదంతా ఏంటంటే ఎన్క్రిప్టెడ్. మన పాస్వర్డ్ ఏమైంది?
ఓకే,
ఎన్క్రిప్ట్ అయింది
ఎన్క్రిప్టెడ్
ఇక్కడ.
ఫార్మాట్. అదే ఒరిజినల్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఎక్కడ చూపివో.
చూపించకూడదు కాబట్టి పాస్వర్డ్ ఏం చేశారు? ఎన్క్రిప్ట్ చేశారు.
ఓకే.
all users password information will be the information will be located under the slash etc sudo. ఓకే,
ఓకే.
నార్మల్ యూజర్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటది? ఒకవేళ యూజర్ క్రియేట్ అయింది, ఎక్కడ క్రియేట్ అయ్యాడు, ఏం క్రియేట్ అయ్యాడు అన్ని ఇక్కడ ఉంటది. స్లాష్ ఈటీసీ passwd ఫైల్లోనేమో యూజర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటది, పాస్వర్డ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏమో స్లాష్ ఈటీసీ షాడోలో ఉంటది.
ఇప్పుడు యూజర్ కి ఏం ప్రివిలేజ్ ఉన్నాయి? ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నో లాగిన్ అంటే నో లాగిన్ అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే ఆ యూజర్ కి లాగిన్
చెప్తా
యాక్సెస్ లేదనా?
చెప్తా అక్కడికే వచ్చాం. ఓకే, అక్కడికే వచ్చాము. యా, సో వాట్ ఈస్ ఏ షెల్, గైస్? What is a shell? It is what this is, guys. This is a black screen is a shell. What scale it is? Echo dollar shell. Shell. What shell it is? Bin bash. So what shell it is? Bash shell. Born again shell. By default, Linux what shell will be there? Bash is there. So where you are executing, where you are interacting with the server through, you are interacting through server through shell only, right? Where you are executing your commands, you are executing your commands in the black screen. With black screen is nothing but a shell. Which shell it is? It is the bash shell. Understood? What the shell is? The shell is a bash shell. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. సో ఇప్పుడు తెలుస్తుంది చూడండి. Okay. Shell is used to interact. Used to interact with the system. Use it to interact with the system to know how many shells are available. How many shells are available /etc shells. If you use the execute this command, it will show us the how many shells are available. Okay. So what is that? cat/etc shells. Okay. And bin bash. What is a bin bash, guys? Bin bash is the default shell for all the Linux Unix users. Okay. So bin bash. What this is? Bin bash is the default shell for the all the Linux and Unix users. Okay. So what is sbin? What is sbin no login? What is this, guys? Sbin no login is a special shell which gives no interaction. Understood, Ajay? Ajay?
నో ఇంటరాక్షన్ అంటే అంటే అర్థం కాలేదు.
ఇప్పుడు మనం బిన్ బ్యాష్ ఉంది కాబట్టి లాగిన్ అయ్యి ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవ్వగలుగుతున్నాం. నో లాగిన్ అను అనుకో, దానికి లాగిన్ అవడానికి ఏమీ లేదు. ఆ షెల్ మనకేం రాదు. ఏ స్పెషల్ షెల్ విచ్ గివ్స్ నో ఇంటరాక్షన్ విత్ ద సిస్టమ్. నో ఇంటరాక్షన్ విత్ ద సిస్టమ్. సో ఇంటరాక్షన్ ఏమీ ఉండదు, మనం ఏం కనెక్ట్ అవ్వం. ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు నేను అజయ్ అనే యూజర్ కి ఎస్బిన్ నో లాగిన్ ఇచ్చామనుకో, ఇక్కడ షెల్ ఏమి ఇవ్వచ్చు? ఇక్కడ బిన్ బ్యాష్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. బై డిఫాల్ట్ గా ఆటోమేటిక్ వచ్చింది, మేము ఏమైపోయినా బిన్ బ్యాష్ వచ్చింది. నాకు స్పెషల్ పర్మిషన్ కావాలి, ఎస్బిన్ నో లాగిన్ కావాలి అనుకుంటే ఏమవుతుంది? అజయ్ యూజర్ కి యూజర్ యాడ్ -s, ఇక్కడ చూడు, యూజర్ యాడ్ -s /sbin no login. sbin no login Ajay. So I created a user Ajay with sbin no login. So sbin no login means there is no interact with the shell. There is a special shell which gives no interaction with the system. సో అజయ్కి ఏముంటది? అజయ్ లాగిన్ అవ్వలేడు ఇంకా. ఎందుకు? అతనికి ఎస్బిన్ నో లాగిన్ ఉంది కాబట్టి. ఇప్పుడు చూపిస్తాను, నీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకే. సో జనరల్లీ all service user accounts are assigned with no login shells. ఎందుకు? సర్వీస్ అకౌంట్స్ ఏమి లాగిన్ అవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, జస్ట్ సర్వీస్ రన్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది కదా. వాళ్ళకి ఇంటరాక్షన్ అవ్వాలి, షెల్ ప్రాంప్ట్ రావాలి, దాంట్లో వర్క్ చేయాలి, అలా ఏం అవసరం లేదు కదా వాళ్ళకి. అవునా? సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హెచ్టిటిపిటి సర్వీస్ ఉంది. ఈ సర్వీస్ కి సో లాగిన్ కనెక్ట్ అయ్యి సర్వీస్ ఆన్ చేయాలా? జస్ట్ సర్వీస్ మనం ఆన్ చేసుకుంటాం. సో దానికి షెల్ ఏం అవసరం లేదు కదా, షెల్ ప్రాంప్ట్ వాళ్ళు లాగిన్ అవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. సో అట్లాంటి వాటికి మనం ఏం చేస్తాము? ఎస్బిఎన్ లాగిన్ చేసే స్పెషల్ షెల్ విచ్ గివ్స్ నో ఇంటరాక్షన్ విత్ ద సిస్టమ్. జనరల్లీ ఆర్ సర్వీస్ యూజర్ అకౌంట్స్ ఆర్ అసైన్డ్ విత్ ద no login shells. So guys, understood? grep, for example, grep hyphen no login. So grep hyphen no login slash etc. What is that? Passwd to see the users list with no login shell, right? Echo dollar shell, echo dollar shell to know working shell. So what is the working shell for Linux engineers? A Linux server. Bin. Guys, speak out, guys. Bin bash.
In bash.
Bin bash. Let's see. Grep hyphen 9. No login. No login. Slash etc. Passwd. So bin having the has been no login demon. These all are the service related accounts. They are unable to access the server. They just having a user account, but they are unable to connect to the server. Okay, understood?
Yes, Harin.
Yes,
They're
right?
unable to interact with the shell. Just they will have
Yes,
access to
yes. Yeah.
privilege to run the
Soon you will
services.
understand. Soon you will understand what is that. Okay. So next, what is that? To assign password for user account. To assign the password for the user account. How you can set the password for the user account? We set while installing the OS. We set the password for which user, guys?
Root user.
Root user is the default user. Root user is the super user. Root user will created while installing the OS. We just set the password for the root user only. Yes, right. Yeah. How you can set the password for a user? Passwd, not password. Passwd username. What is the command, guys? Command is passwd username. Passwd. Again here also options. User name. What is that options? Hyphen L LOCK lock the password. What is that? Lock the password. Hyphen U is nothing but a unlock the password. Unlock the password. Hyphen D is nothing but a delete the password. Passwordless login. Okay. Hyphen S is nothing but a status. Guys, in the real time, all the users who are working on the company, those users password will be reset by 90 days or 150 days. So in your company, how many days it will be reset the password?
90
Azim,
days. 90
90
days.
days. Right, guys? So in the real time, all the companies, so the password expiration will be set. The password expiration will be set. So 100 days or something like how you can set the password. So let's, guys, understood? Yeah. So next example, user add user one. Just created the normal user. Okay. So next user add hyphen u 1010 user 2. I created a second user with the UID. Third user add hyphen G DevOps engineer user 3. Set as a primary user as primary group as a DevOps engineer. Okay. User add hyphen capital G Linux engineer user 4. So I will capital 3 Linux engineer 4. Okay. User add hyphen G as a DevOps engineer. Hyphen capital G is Linux engineer. Linux engineer user 5. User add hyphen S has been no login. Has been no login. Not user 6. I am creating a Ajay user. Okay. User add hyphen C is nothing but a comment. What is the comment? For example, this is the FTP user. Okay, this is the comment for that user. Hyphen S has been no login. No login user 6. Okay, so now you understood, guys. I want to execute all these commands in one time. Just to copy this where you are. Okay, just copy this here. Copy. Just I'm pasting here. You see, all the commands are executed. So user add is created. Let's check it in the /etc passwd. You see, all user 1 is created, user 2 is created, 1010, user 3 created, so user 4 created, user 5 created, Ajay created with has been no login. Okay, all these having bin bash, so Ajay having has been no login. User 6 created, FTP user, comment is FTP user home has been no login. Okay, guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the fields? So I will take two. No. What is this, guys? So one is instructor. This is one. This is two. This is three. This is four. This is five. This is six. This is seven. Okay. What these seven fields are? What these seven fields are? Okay. What these seven fields are? One is user name. Username. It is user user when user logs in. Second one is group ID. GID. So what is it? So X character is password. Sorry. Second one, what is the second one? Second one is password. An X character. What is that? An X character. An X character indicates that encrypted password is stored in /etc shadow file. Okay. What is the third one, guys? Third one is a user ID. So fourth one, what is the fourth one, guys? This is the fourth one. Fourth one is the group ID. What is the fifth one, guys? So fifth one is a user ID info. Okay. What is the sixth one? Um, Directory. What is this seventh one, guys? Shell. What is seventh one? Shell. Guys understood? Guys understood the characters, the fields.
Yes, sir.
So this is the user ID, user ID. So user info, this is the user info. Home directory slash home Ajay. And the shell. What is the shell? Has been no login bin bash. These are the shells. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are the fields in the shadow? You said right, password or something like cat slash etc shadow. The password information will be available under the shadow, right? For example, we took this. Guys. Okay. So this is the root. So what these are? One is username. It is a login as name, and second one is password. Password. It is a so it is encrypted password. It is encrypted password. Then so this is the symbol. Last password change. What is that? Last password. Last password change. So fourth one is minimum password change. Okay, the minimum number of days required between the password change. So that is nothing but number of days left before the user is allowed to change his or password. Okay, some five is maximum number of days. Maximum number of days. Maximum number of days the password is valid. After that, user is forced to change his or password. Okay. Sixth is a warning. What is that? Sixth is a warning, and seventh is nothing but a. So what is the seventh, guys? Seventh is nothing but a inactive. Inactive. Eighth is nothing but expire. Okay. Expire is nothing but the day since Jan something like the 1970 here, right? So it will be the account is disabled. Thus it is an absolute date specifying when the login may no longer be used. May no longer be used. Understood? Yeah. Next, user mod. User mod is nothing but to the modify the user account properties. Properties without deleting the user. So, for example, we set the password for the Ajay user, passwd Ajay, red hat, red hat, red hat, red hat. Hmm. So password is set for Ajay. Okay, I'm trying to duplicate session. I'm trying to log in as a Ajay. Ajay, password is red hat. You see? So are you able to interact with this session? Because of you have a /etc passwd pipe greppo hyphen I. What is the user, guys? Ajay. What it having? It having the has been no login. Let's try to change. What is the user mod command? Hyphen s bin bash. If you have bin bash, then only you can able to log in. Okay. Again, you can search. Yeah. So before it is has been no login. Now it is bin bash. Okay. So duplicate session. Ajay. Red hat. Guys, so before you have a SBIN login, that's the reason you are unable to interact with the shell. Now you have a bin bash, so that's the reason able to interact with the shell. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll show you the user del. If you want to user add user mod is completed, user del and the password change something like how many days we want to change the password, right? The warning, everything we will change it by using the chase command. So we'll show you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, Hari.
Yep. Thank you, guys. So we'll continue. Ajay, understood ఇప్పుడు?
అర్థమైంది హరి. కాకపోతే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలంటే నాకు జస్ట్ చూస్తుంటే అంటే కొంచెం కష్టంగా ఉంది. ఇది ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే అర్థమవుతుంది.
ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి. ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తేనే అర్థమవుతుంది. సరే. అశోక్, నువ్వు కూడా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయి.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ హరి.